You are watching KAVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Adam Seibel. A 15-year-old has died after being hit while crossing East Red River Street and Navarro. Friday night around 8:25 p.m. Victoria police officers responded to East Red River and Navarro in response to a crash involving a car and a pedestrian. VPD's investigation revealed that a 15-year-old male was crossing the intersection westbound when he failed to yield right-of-way and was struck by a northbound vehicle operated by a 43-year-old. The juvenile was transported to an area hospital before being transferred to an out-of-town hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. VPD said there were no citations issued. Here's your viewer poll this evening. You can scan that QR code on your screen to vote right now. Do you think Victoria is a walkable city? Yes or no? Walkable is defined as an area or route that is suitable or safe for walking. 10% say yes and 90% say no. Victoria is not a walkable city. Thank you for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate. Victoria police have arrested a woman in connection to a shooting Wednesday near Christ's Kitchen. A 29-year-old man was hit and at last report was in stable condition at a hospital. The 27-year-old woman faces charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Here's a closer look at the suspect arrested. Marcelia Ria is at the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a $100,000 bond. Court records show she's had several issues with the law since 2017, most recently for public intoxication of August 2021. The annual Flip Flop Fest ignited today with its mix of tournaments, food, and music at the Bayfront Peninsula in Port Lavaca. 25 News Now reporter Darius McCormick spent some time at the festival and has more about the event.
Where Highway 87 ends is where the party begins at the annual Flip Flop Fest. The city of Port Lavaca started this festival back in 2007, and the event has grown more and more since then. The heat halted the crowd, but one of the organizers says the night breeze will convince the locals to come on out.
So we see our bigger crowds at night. We see more of the shoppers and people that just want to come out and chill for a little while during the day. Then at night we have people that are ready for some good music.
The festival includes a fishing tournament, cornhole tournament, along with food and merchandise vendors. The most exciting part of the night goes to the Flip Flong tournament. Participants throw their sandal, and the furthest flung flip-flop finishes first for a special flip-flop prize.
People come out of the woodwork for that and come back and buy for their title, and it's all ages. We have kids, we have, people in their 80s, and we have one lady that comes back pretty much every year that she's able to try to reclaim that title.
Bands perform from 5 p.m. until the end of the night. Catch all of this and more on Bayfront Peninsula. You still have time because the city of Port Lavaca is partying until midnight this evening. Reporting in Port Lavaca, I'm Darius McCormick, KAVU TV 25 News Network.
Darius told me he made the shot at the end, so you may not have seen it there, but he did make one of those shots. Great job, Darius. So, Howie, it looked like, I don't know, was it too hot for that? But I still saw people out there and even got a little bit of rain earlier, just really brief, but you said it was the pressure. I'm not exactly sure.
I was going to say the same thing. Did he make that? Because I didn't see the video come through with the shot. He's telling us he made it, but if he did, nice shot at Darius. Now, yeah, was it hot out there? It was hot out there, but it's been hot all summer. If there's a festival close to the beach, I think it'd be a fun time to get out there. Now, yeah, on the hot side, what happened with the pressure? Well, high pressure kind of moved away. Low pressure storms moved a little north, leaving moisture, and the sea breeze moved in, bringing us some showers. But I'm going to get carried away on that subject because here's what we have. Temperatures staying on the warm side, but hey, only staying 103, 104-ish, where we've been 110, 117-ish. But overnight, we'll drop down to 75 degrees. We'll talk about potential showers for the remaining days in our Labor Day holiday, plus another warm-up probably headed our way. Coming up very soon, Adam.
All right, thanks, Howie. Police in Austin have identified the man they say opened fire at an Austin shopping center Thursday. Austin police say 38-year-old Tang Kang Dave Chiang fatally shot one person and injured another. They say the shooter died by suicide at the scene. The victim, who died on the scene, has been identified as 64-year-old Laura Jagri. According to investigators, the shooting took place at the Tapioca Lounge in the Arbitrarium Outdoor Shopping Mall. It's still not clear how the suspected shooter and his victims are related. The nation's airports and roads are busy this weekend, filled with travelers heading to their holiday destinations as they celebrate the unofficial end to summer, and in some parts of the country, the weather not cooperating.
Millions of Americans are on the move this Labor Day weekend. Airports packed across the country from Los Angeles.
This is the last weekend of summer, so we are expecting full flights across the board.
To Atlanta, where 1.7 million passengers are expected to pass through Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport this weekend.
It's been smooth. Yeah, it's just always busy.
TSA telling ABC News an estimated 2.7 million travelers were screened Friday, and another 2.5 million expected to be screened today. The nation's highways also busy, packed with travelers driving to their holiday destinations. For the return home on Monday, AAA says if you want to avoid the worst traffic, hit the road after 7 p.m. The weather is also having an impact. Las Vegas dealing with significant flooding as monsoon rains and storms inundate the Southwest. In the Midwest, temperatures soaring into the 90s across the plains with triple digits possible. Along the East Coast, concerns about rough surf and dangerous rip currents from Idalia and Franklin. A heat wave is possible beginning on Sunday for much of the Northeast, including New York City, where the U.S. Open is underway.
The weather's been really nice for week one, right? 70s and 80s, but that weather becomes an issue in week two because we're going into the 90s. It's going to be even hotter on the hard court. Those athletes, the fans, make sure you're drinking plenty of water.
Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Grab your cell phone, scan this QR code. That's a quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app, which allows you to watch us anytime, anywhere, and get breaking news alerts and vote in those viewer polls. You can learn all about our ongoing contest right there on the app, and you can submit news tips and photos. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up, singer-songwriter Jimmy Buffett is being remembered and honored by fans in Key West and all over today after he passed away at the age of 76.
I've been down there to Margaritaville, very fun place. Look at these numbers coming down a little bit, not as stuffy as we've endured for most of the summer. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a little bit.
Here's a look at what's coming up on Community Crossroads. We hear from the Texas Tribune. We also learn about National Night Out, Ham Health, and we hear a fantastic performance by Tasman and Tim.
A teenager was shot and killed by police after running from officers and shooting a K-9 officer on Saturday morning. The incident began around 2 a.m. when the suspect, 17-year-old Stephon Ford, and two other males fled from police following a report of suspicious activity. Officers managed to catch the other males, but Ford escaped. At one point during the search, officers called in SWAT to assist in the search. The teen was later located in a wooded area by the K-9 officer. Officials said he ignored commands to surrender and begin shooting at them. The K-9 officer was shot and transported to an animal hospital, later dying from his injuries. Officials said that officers then shot the teen, killing him. The President and First Lady traveled to Florida today to tour some of the areas Hardest hit by Hurricane Idalia, President Biden had said he would meet with Governor DeSantis while in Florida, but on Friday, the governor's office issued a statement saying he would not be meeting with the president.
President Biden arrived in Florida Saturday afternoon, taking an aerial tour of some of the devastation left behind by Hurricane Idalia.
As I told your governor, if there's anything your state needs, I'm ready to mobilize that support. Your nation has your back, and we'll be with you until the job is done.
The president and first lady visited Live Oak, about 80 miles east of the capital, Tallahassee, meeting with residents, local officials, and first responders. The area took a hard hit when the storm roared ashore Wednesday. Crews are still working to restore power to many. The president highlighting how the community has come together to help one another.
When people are in real trouble, the most important thing you can give them is hope. There's no hope like your neighbor walking across the street and see what they can do for you.
President Biden had planned to meet with Florida's governor during his visit, but on Friday it was announced that DeSantis had no plans to meet with Biden. The governor's office in a statement saying such a meeting could hinder disaster response efforts. The president saying he was not disappointed by the governor's decision.
He may have had other reasons but he did help us plan this. He sat with FEMA and decided where we should go, where would be the least disruption.
The president was joined by Republican Florida Senator Rick Scott.
First off, the president did a great job with the early declaration before the storm hit the coast. That was a big deal. It helped all these first responders.
While the president was in Live Oak, Governor DeSantis toured Keaton Beach and Horseshoe Beach, two other areas that were hard hit by Idalia. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Singer-songwriter Jimmy Buffett is being remembered and honored by fans in Key West, Florida today. Buffett died on September 1st at age 76. Now his fans in the Keys are coming out in honor of his legacy. People could be seen paying tribute to the late performer with flowers, notes, and other items. Key West is the place where Buffett developed the tropical beach sound that flavored his music throughout his career. The island's influence is widely credited with inspiring many of his hits, including Margaritaville. In addition to being Buffett's home during some of his most productive years in the mid-1980s, he founded the Margaritaville store in Key West waterfront Lands End Village. Now to the student loans that are accruing interest again with a COVID-19 era reprieve just ended. ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is in Washington with what it means for those borrowers and what the Biden administration is trying to do to lessen the burden.
After more than 3 years and 8 extensions, the pause on student loan payments is officially ending. This morning, interest on federal student loans once again accruing, and payments are due again in October.
I'm alarmed and I'm nervous. I don't really know where to go from here, to be honest. The interest is just like, it keeps you trapped.
Over 43 million Americans hold federal student loans and average around $30,000 in student loan debt. Others owe much more, like Annalise Erickson, a dentist in the Bay Area, who has over $400,000 in debt.
I think my largest loan is about $70,000, and that's on a 7.6% interest rate.
People power! People power! The payments are set to restart just months after the Supreme Court struck down President Biden's initial student loan forgiveness plan, saying the administration overstepped its authority by forgiving debt without congressional approval.
We'll use every tool at our disposal to get you the student debt relief you need and reach your dreams.
The president vowing not to give up on borrowers and responded to the Supreme Court decision with new programs to provide some relief, including a 12-month grace period where a missed payment this year will not lead to default, new plans for those who had fallen into default, $39 billion in canceled loans to correct past errors, and a new program capping loan payments.
For more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrain will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can submit a local military hero so we can recognize them.
We're going to talk, saying 4th of July, Labor Day weekend weather, as well as what's going on in the tropics. Straight ahead. All right, so cooler temperatures, slight rain chances, warmer later on in the week. All right, let's break it all down. So we were at 98 earlier, so either way, 5 degrees or so above average. But hey, nowhere near a record, and we stayed under 100 degrees, where we almost hardly ever did that from June, July, August, and into September here. Finally, trapped below the 100-degree mark, but those numbers should return very shortly. Here's our radar. Now, earlier, we were seeing pop-up storms. What happened is a storm pulled away a little bit off to the north, northeast. It left some remnant moisture here. As the sea breeze moved in, we saw a line of some pop-up showers. Adam, Zach, and Darius, they all said they ran into some showers earlier. So, yeah, we had those showers. Most of them are now staying off to the northeast. But with high pressure, for the most part, out of the way, we're subjected to, we could be subjected to some of these pop-up showers, especially as the sun destabilizes us during the daytime. All right, here's our dew points. Look at these numbers. Yeah, they're still stuffy, but they're not 82s, 77s, and 78s for the most part like we've been seeing most of the summer. So a little bit less stuffy. I know we have a ways to go, but not as oppressive as what we've seen for much of the year. All right, here's our future feel-like temperatures. This is what we're looking like as we wake up later on in the day. Yeah, we're going to be in the hundreds again, but again, under 105 for the most part, where we've been going 107, 111, 117, so not too bad. We're pretty much going to stay in the 80s overnight, in the morning, out for the real feel, that is, and we'll warm up to about 100 to 105 over the next couple days. Here's a look ahead at what we're doing. All right. So some of these numbers, what's going to happen is, yeah, high pressure should start moving back in from the west, but we'll see some of the moisture getting trapped in the area that's pushing in from the Gulf, from the east, and with that extra moisture there, yeah, we can start to see some of these heat indices on the rise once again. All right, let's break it all down. I talked about this storm. Storm's kind of pulling away, but left some moisture here, and then we had the sea breeze creating some showers. Now, we have that activity pushing in from the west. You see this? Now, when is Labor Day? That's Monday. Look what happens here. We could see some showers. Again, a lot of it looks to stay off to the northeast and maybe on the coast. But hey, we could have some pop-up showers. I'm not looking at a washout. So it's one of the grilliest holidays around, Labor Day. Everyone's out there grilling in the backyard. I think we'll be okay. Could just have a random couple showers here and there. Most of this activity starts to pull away, and then high pressure, sort of that dome, that shield, that protectant, it is headed our way again. And with some of that moisture getting trapped, yeah, those heat indices will start to rise once again. Here's our future tracker. I showed you what happens really for Monday. Yeah, we get some of these showers, and most of it I stayed off to the northeast. So yeah, we might stay completely dry in some spots for our holiday Monday. Sunday's coming up too, but we could have some light showers, and most of those will stay on the coast. All right, here's our marine forecast. Here's what we got. 91 for our water. Bays stay smooth, though. It sees around 2 feet. All right, what's going on in the tropics? Not too much, because Idalia is kind of headed on its way out. So is Gert, both at about 60 miles per hour, but really staying out in the open ocean. Then Katia is about 45 miles per hour, but yeah, really staying in the open oceans. Then we have a feature out there. Now, this one we're going to keep an eye on, looking to further develop as it moves west-northwest, but it's a long ways away. We'll continue to research and evaluate that feature. Overnight, 75 degrees, and then for tomorrow, again, I got to switch it again. I did my GMAs. This is for tomorrow. That's for Sunday. 100 degrees in that range, 20% chance of showers, maybe along the coast, and looking ahead for Labor Day again. Got about 20-30% chance of some showers. So, yeah, we might see some showers. Most of it staying to the northeast and along the coast. Looking ahead, as more moisture moves in, those heat indices could start to go up a little. I got those 106s and those 105s. For more weather, news, and sports, you can go to our app. That's at crossroadstoday.com, and that is free on the Android and iPhone. And now we go to Sports with Zach.
Thank you, Howie. Week 2 was absolute madness. I'll have that coming up in sports. Well, week 2 of our CFL coverage did not disappoint, starting with our game of the week down in the Snake Pit. Industrial trailing 14-0 late in the first half when Ashton Garza, putting his boys on his back, long touchdown run, cuts the Shiner lead in half to get the ball to start the second half. Offense firing on all cylinders. That great catch there going to set up this powerful touchdown run, and we are tied. Now, later in this game, a little bit of controversy. The kickoff is touched. They rule it a touchback. I guess that's a high school rule, but boy, what a decision that was, because Carson Schutte, who played his butt off, keeps the option on this touchdown run. And if that wasn't crazy enough, check this out. Shiner up by 1 touchdown, but there goes Industrial. But it's Carson Schutte hawking them down. Ball's free. Shiner has it. Are you kidding me? Nothing doing, though, offensively for Shiner. Industrial would get the ball back and tie the game. And guess what? They would get it right back on this crazy interception, and it's going to set up a touchdown with only 8 seconds remaining. Game of the week did not disappoint. Shiner now 0-2, but they know the best is yet to come.
I feel like we had many improvements on offense. We still need to tackle a little bit better, but on the offensive side, we had a lot of improvements, and I'm happy with that.
You know, Industrial's a good team, and you know, we had our chances. I thought we really did a good job offensively of making plays. Several kids did a good job there, starting with the offensive line. And you know, Carson played really well at quarterback, extended some plays for us. We caught the ball well. Really good things there. I thought we played really good defense early in the game, and then we got tired, and you know, we didn't tackle as well when we needed to, and you know, that ended up being the difference in the game.
Shiner took a big step forward, looking for a win next week. Down the road in Edna, the Cowboys had a nice drive to start that game against Bay City. It would eventually end in a touchdown for an early 7-0 lead, but then the Cowboys would struggle, trailing by as much as 21-7 late in this one, but they would pull out the game in the end and get the win 28-21. Next week, a massive game where they will travel down to Refugio and take on the Bobcats, but like I said, massive win yesterday over number 8 Bay City. In Bloomington, the Bobcats welcomed the Louise Hornets, and it was Louise who got their first win of the year. The Bobcats fall to 1-1 on the season, but they do have homecoming coming up this week. The Cuero Gobblers hit the road in Navarro and stomped them 35-7. The Gobblers were consistent throughout this one, scoring in every quarter and only allowing just the third quarter touchdown. Next week, they also have a big showdown. That is with Yoakum. And for Victoria West, the Warriors still searching for their first win of the year after falling last night. They will probably be fine. They started 0-3 last year and still found postseason success. Next week, they have a tough one, though, versus Alice. Now from the football gridiron out on the soccer pitch, UHV in action today. The girls tied at 3 apiece and have now gone unbeaten in their last 9 regular season games. For the boys, they were able to get the win. Final score, 2-0. Ina Rolfson and Jose Martinez each had second half goals. Next up for the Jags is Wiley College for a non-conference road showdown. And for the Texas Longhorns today, former Hallettsville star Jonathan Brooks had the first touchdown of the season. Adam, back to you.
All right, thanks, Zach. Stay with us. Coming up, a police officer in Michigan saved a child with his quick thinking and reaction time. experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your connected TV. You can download it on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Police footage captured this dramatic moment. The officers in Warren, Michigan arrived on the scene to revive a child that was not breathing. The dramatic dash cam video shows the moment when a police officer saves the life of the choking child. The mother was headed to the hospital when the life-saving action happened. Officer Brendan Frazier was on duty looking for distracted drivers when he noticed that car going about double the speed limit. After stopping the vehicle, Frazier recognized that the child was experiencing a medical emergency. The 18-month-old was unresponsive and had saliva around his mouth. Officer Frazier proceeded to pat the child's back until he coughed up fluids and began breathing again. The child was taken to the hospital and is said to be doing better.
Wow, what a story right there. That's kind of luck too, you know, because you can be speeding and there won't be a cop in sight, you know. So for them to be able to see that and help her and get that baby, you know, saved immediately, that's nothing short of a miracle right there.
No, that's awesome. I mean, obviously, 18 months old. Wow, man, got another shot at life, and that's awesome. So, great job on that, officer.
I think a lot of them are trained too, like EMS, firefighters, EMS. They all have the training.
Right.
For all of that.
I think it's absolutely necessary to be CPR trained. You never know. Even at the football games, you know, they have the medical staff on. You never know what you're going to need. And I've seen them be, you know, in action before. So I mean,
we should probably all renew.
First
I used to have the car, but it expired.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You could probably still do it though.
Yeah, I could probably get it done.
I trust you with my life.
Oh, I appreciate that. So,
no problem.
All right, well, no choking anybody. Everyone stay safe. Let's take one last look at our weather. So Idalia, Gert, at about 60 miles per hour, but they're really headed into Nowheresville. Then Katia out there. Yeah, just really headed into the open ocean. We'll keep an eye on that feature by the Cape Verde Islands because that one's headed to the west-northwest. That should strengthen, but hey, that's way over there. We'll keep an eye on that at least maybe a week from now. Overnight, 75 degrees with those dew points down a little bit, so not as stuffy, but still not the most pleasant. You'll still be sweating out there with bugs flying around. So 100 degrees for tomorrow, 20% chance of showers along the coast. Looking ahead for Labor Day. Yeah, you saw that. Nothing in the way of a washout, but hey, we could have some rain days during the rest of the week.
All right. Thanks, Howie. Thanks, Zach. And thank you all for being with us. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great and fun and safe weekend.